Okay. Welcome. This is my first time streaming, first video. Today we're going to be streaming Car Mechanic Simulator 2021. Getting everything set up right quick. Alright, here we go. Alrighty, how y'all doing this evening? Or I guess it did this morning by about now. Almost. Gonna be streaming some Car Mechanic Simulator 2021. I've already played this game a decent bit, so I kind of know the rundown of what's going on. I've already loaded up the car shop full of cars. I've got some sitting outside, so for this first run we're just gonna kind of go through it and see how things go. Like I said, this is my first stream, so this is gonna be kind of a test run to see how things are running, and yeah, we'll go from there and see how things go and tweak it for future streams. I know this isn't the best camera. I know the audio may not be perfect, but I want to try streaming out first, see how it works, see how I enjoy it, and I'll move forward from there, get better devices and things like that, better audio if I continue to do this. So without further ado, let's get into the game. I really enjoy this game. I do mechanic work on the sides. Or on the side whenever I'm not at my main job. I do some stuff with like friends or co-workers, things like that. I've got 5 vehicles ready to be worked on right now, and it's a variety of things. Everything from engines, exhaust, brake jobs. I mean, it's a variety of things. So this is my shop. As you can see, if you've never played the game, I will go through and do some tutorials and other things, but my shop is fully expanded. Give y'all a tour right quick. I have both my car lifts. Out the gate right here is where I have my other cars. These are 3 other cars that I've got to be working on. This one's going to be interesting. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure this one's here for suspension work, considering the fact that it's an off-road Ford Mustang. I also will be doing some body work. I think that green car is here for some body work. The only thing I have not unlocked yet, which I believe goes right here, is the dyno shop. Here's the car wash. I can bring the cars in here and wash them. This is the paint booth. I like how interactive everything is. You can bring parts in here one at a time out of your inventory and paint them. I also did some where I can put decals and such on them. But you can bring the whole car in here and paint it at once, or you can bring parts individually in. And this is, I'm not sure what I can't remember what they call this area. I'll find out in a second, but this is where you would do wheel alignments. And you would also be doing headlight alignments. So it's pretty in-depth game. This right here, this storage container right here, is where you can salvage parts and get scrap. You can scrap parts. You take off old cars and get like scrap pieces for them, and you can use those to upgrade other parts. This is the part repair table, where if you take something off and it's not too badly damaged as far as like camshafts, engine blocks, things like that, if it's above a certain percentage, I think it's 15%, but it might be 20. As long as it's above that, you can bring it here and repair it. You get paid the same amount, regardless if you put something in new or you repair the old piece. So you can save yourself a good bit of money. This is the body repair table where you can repair the fenders and things. Same thing, as long as they're not too damaged. You can repair most body parts. You can't repair windows, of course, and you can't repair headlights and taillights. But the main body panels, you can fix most of them here. One other thing that I have unlocked is the engine stand right here, where instead of having to, you'll see later on, one of these I'm sure of the 5 need engine work. What you would normally have to do if you left it in the car is you would have to, like I said, you were changing the crankshaft. You would have to go underneath the car, drain the oil and everything, pull the drain pan, take loose the camshaft or the crankshaft sleeves, or sorry, I'm drawing a blank right now. The piston caps, crankshaft caps and piston caps, you'd have to pull those off, come out from under the car, lower the car down, and then pull the cylinders out, or the pistons out, then go back underneath the car, raise it back up, go back underneath the car, and then you can pull the crankshaft. By having the engine stand, or the engine lift, and then this engine stand right here, you can pull the whole engine out, put it there, and you can fully disassemble it on the stand, and then build it all completely back on the stand again. The last thing I want to show you is here. This is my storage warehouse. That's all in my inventory. I need to get rid of that. This is my storage warehouse. This is where a lot of my parts go that I repaired. You can also do barn finds, and things like that, where you go to a barn and you look through trash and stuff. You can find cars there as well. I bought a car a while back, an Imperator. It's an Echo's Imperator. And it was my first car to buy from a barn. I'll show it to you before the end of the video, if I remember. And so I had a good bit of money saved up, and so I went there, bought the car, brought it to the shop, and I disassembled the entire car and reassembled it with all new parts or all repaired parts. So when you look at the specs of the car, I haven't even driven it yet, I haven't even taken it for a test drive yet. When you look at all the specs for it, everything is at 100%. The engine, the transmission, the body, the brakes, the suspension, everything's at 100%. Went way overboard on that car. I spent like $53,000 on it in the barn, and then I spent like another $35,000 in parts. So I went way overboard with that one. But anyway, so I can go ahead and show you about the scrapping and such. You can also sell the used parts. So as you can see, a lot of these parts are below the percentage. So basically I had to replace them. So right here on the repair table, you don't have the necessary parts because I don't have any that can be repaired. So you have two choices with these parts. You can either, we'll bring up the inventory, you can either sell them, so you click on them, it'll tell you how much to give it for you, give you for it in the current condition. So you can sell them like that, or you go out to your scrap and you can scrap them for parts. Now, the interesting thing about this, and this also does with repairs, I'll show you in a little bit, I'm sure, is right here when you got to start salvaging. So right now it's going to try and salvage this window. When you hit the space bar, it's going to give you red bars and green bars, and this one's going to be yellow, green, and blue. On the car repair pieces, it's green, red, or gray. But depending on how close you get to this, the bigger your salvage points will be. So if I get it in that blue, it wasn't the best, it was green. But if you get it in the blue, you'll get 3, 2, 1. I've got a good bit of scrap. You can see up here, I've got almost 1,500 scrap, so I really don't need to scrap anything else right now. So I'm going to go ahead and sell everything to get a little bit extra money. You can sell everything at one time by bringing this up and just hitting sell parts. And it will let you set a percentage of anything underneath a certain amount. The noises you're hearing are cars passing by on the street. So we'll go ahead and sell everything. Made $190, not the best. But let's go ahead and get started on the cars. So let's bring up our wheel here. So this one, this gives you the basic details of the car, the conditions and such. Specs for it, and then this one is the repair order. This is what they're in here for. So this one needs a lot of work camshaft caps, throttle relays, engine has no power, filters, brake system. Yeah, so this one we're going to make some decent money on. Let's see, what's this one here for? Okay, we'll start with this one. It's a nice, easy one. This is some suspension work. Yeah, it's all suspension. So let's go ahead. All looks like it's going to be underneath, so let's go ahead and race the car. First one puts the, that's the sound, I'm sure, but the first one puts the arms under the car and gets it off the ground where you can do tire work and such. I like to have the car fully up in the air, just so I can walk underneath it, and I don't have to worry about having to walk around the car. So one other nice thing is this is an easy mode. I don't know if it does this in the harder modes, but you got front end link A. Well, you don't know the sway bar link. So you've got two of them on the car. You've got this one right here, and then you have one over here. Now the game kind of lets you know by looking which one's bad. You can see this one. If I can get this thing in there. Here we go. Okay, so you can see this thing is all rusted up and such. Normally they're not going to be on cars. It will be dented or the bushings will be bad, something like that. But you can see this one's nice and shiny, so we know that one's nothing wrong with that. But if it was something more internal, for example, I think a wheel bearing, wheel hub bearing. So we don't know which one is which without tearing into it. Well, if you don't have to tear into it, why do it? So if you hit this star right here, and then you click on it, and we just cycle around. There it is. So it's the front. It highlights it blue, whichever things you have checked on the list there. So you got the one right there that's blue, so that's the wheel hub bearing that's bad. So we're going to go ahead and just mark the stuff on the list right quick for this first section. One other thing is I don't pull off rear, and a rubber bushing. That could be on the front or the rear. We'll go ahead and mark them all. And inner tie rod. Once again, inner tie rod. You can see that it's highlighting that one. You can see it is all rusted up. And this one's nice and shiny. So you could kind of tell, but why waste time? So I always, when I take the tires off, I'm going to go ahead and lower down the sound for the game a little bit because I know that's got to be too loud. Oh. Settings, audio, back down. Let's just start at 50. Okay. So we're going to press a hold on it. Oh yeah, that's much better. And even though the game doesn't require it, just my mechanical history, I like to do it the right way. When I put the tires back on and such, I'll go ahead and do them in the star pattern. But you click and hold to remove pieces. I actually didn't need to pull those off because I don't have to take any of this off to take off the tie rod, the sway arm. So let's put this back on. But that knuckle, that knuckle's got to come off too. Okay, so that one does have to come off. So, doing it right without even realizing it. So this is all got to come off. But what I was saying about the tires is, when I take the tires off of the vehicle, most of the time I'll just go through the list and go ahead and start just taking stuff apart. And sometimes I might miss something that isn't... that I didn't see. One other thing, like that bolt right there was orange. I'm sorry, I didn't explain it beforehand, but if you right click, you'll hit it with some DW04. Copyright, I'm sure. But, so whenever I'm doing something like this, I will, when I go to take it off, or I take the tires off, I leave them off until the very end. Because it's a pain whenever you get everything put back together and then you realize, oh, there's one of the parts I was supposed to do, and then you got to pull the tire back off. So I just prefer to take things nice and just leave the tire off to the very end. And the only thing you have to really watch at that point, the only thing you really have to watch at that point, is one to take off. So that's one that off, that's one that off. Oh, a little up there. But the only thing you really have to watch, here we are, I'm going to hit these with WD-40. Excuse me, DWO4. I lost what I was saying now. Let's see. So, this rubber pushing out. It'll also tell you up here the condition of whatever you're pulling out. So you can kind of determine right away. Anything less than like 25% is going to be something you're working with. So, like see right there at the bottom left, it says 10% on this. So that one's definitely going to have to come off. Boy, you got to take everything off of this one. I said this was going to be the easy one to start with, but my goodness. Alright. Take out this smaller bushing. There we go. That one's ready. So I'm going to go ahead and take everything apart and order my parts all at once. At least for the suspension. If you're trying to do it and it's not, if it seized, you're going to hear a little sound. And you'll see it move, but it won't go anywhere, so. Oh, I'm taking all this off and I don't need to. Pay attention, dude. Oh, wait. I did need to. Sorry, first screen jitters. Alright, let's take this out. And then this was also bad, so we can pull this off without taking too much out of the way. As you advance more, you can give yourself more and more skill points in order to speed up your teardown time and such. You get any of your toolboxes around. So I've got this maxed out all the way up. This is for repairs, so that way I can fix all the body parts. But you can see this was my other one. This is your screwing speed. So I'm working on getting this one raised up to where that one I can go quicker. This one is how quick you move around your shop. Strength for mounting and unmounting for tires and parts and such. And then this one's for like discounts at the barn, at the auction, things like that. And then this one is your exam time. You can examine the cars. I'll show you on this one. I might be able to do it now. So right now we already know by those things being on orange and red, those things that need to be changed on here. But if you click and hold on here, it will diagnose. You can see it all up there in the top left. It's diagnosing all pieces of this suspension. And so if I work on that other category, it will make it where it diagnoses these quicker. It helps in here, and then also especially in the barn whenever you're in there. So let's see, what do we have back here? Alright, so another one, and then so let's move it over here. Oh, I'm still in inspection mode. Okay, forgive me, I did not remember taking out these rear tires already. Did I start on the rear? Wow, okay, that's why everything was seeming weird. That's why it seemed like there was so much more to take off. Yep, great first stream. I got everything mixed up. Outer tie rod, inner tie rod, 10%. I'm probably just gonna do these two cars for tonight. I'll bring the other two in and see exactly what's going on with them, but I'll probably just do these two tonight. That other one's gonna take a while to tear down with the engine, and that'll be a good one to show. So, alright, we got that off. I cannot believe I did all that backwards. And that thing's showing like that because I've already taken it off. I think that's what messed me up. So basically, like if I start working here and I move around the car, this is how I got mixed up earlier. If I move around the car to other places and such. So let's come up over here. We already took that off and everything, but you can see where we're at. If I back out right here, it's going to go back to where we originally were. So that's what threw me off. So anyway, let's go see if we can repair any of this. Alright, so I don't like wasting money. So right here it tells you how much it's going to cost to repair this. You don't get paid for repairing these items if they weren't on the list. So I don't like to waste my time with it unless I'm just trying to get experience. Some of you do get experience. So I'll go ahead and show you on this brake caliper so that way you can see what's talking about the bar. So it's got to land in the green. Whether you fix it or not, it's going to cost you 9 credits. So if you land in gray, you can try again, but it still costs you 9. Red, it will damage it to 28%. If you get the percentage too low, you won't be able to repair it. So let's give it a shot. And we fix it in one go. So a lot of these like, okay, so here's one. On success, it'll only go up to 85%. So we'll have to fix this twice. So one time, oh, it's an instant repair. Anyway, but you don't get paid for those repairs. So let's come back over to the car. And I always like to start my inventory empty whenever I'm starting a new car because you don't want to have stuff in your inventory from the previous car you worked on. And then get confused, okay, well, did I already buy this part? Did I not buy this part? Is this part for this car? Why did I pull this off? It didn't list it as damaged. So inventory was empty. We sold everything when we came back in. So this is everything that we've taken off so far. So to add them to our shopping list, we're going to check our shopping list real quick. It's empty. So to add them to the shopping list, we're going to hit spacebar on what we need. So that one, that one, that one, that one, knuckle housing, bar link. And then the other thing that I do before I go to the store and buy it, even though I know that I don't have any of those things, a lot of times I will go and check the warehouse and make sure I didn't already buy that at like a barn or something. When I go to a barn, I buy almost all the parts that are in there. Whether or not I need them, if they're body parts, I'll bring them back, fix them, and then sell them and make a little bit of profit. But if they're parts like that, that's where all those parts from the warehouse came from, is I will buy them, repair them, and then I'll put them in there in case something like this comes up and I can use those, save some money. So let's go to the tablet. This is the tablet. It's the same thing as the computer, but having the tablet unlocked allows you to do it at the car. So you got your regular car parts, anything as far as ignition coils, alternators, spark plugs, anything like that. It's all going to be down here in the electronic shop, body shop for body work, and then anything that's performance parts or performance body, that's going to be down here in these two right here. Add-ons. Yeah, spoilers, signs, lights, things like that. I haven't really put anything like that on a car yet. And then the interior, seats, chrome, things like that. So let's go to car parts. We're going to hit tab to bring up our shopping list. we need one of those, so we're just going to buy one. And a tie rod, wheel hub bearing, rear suspension RB, rear knuckle housing, and sway bar rear. Alright, so we'll start with the back. And we're going to go, we're going to click on it first. So we're going to do part mounts. And then basically it's going to have you put them on in the right order, and you can check the percentage of setting of things just putting them on. Sometimes you'll notice, okay, well this is not really good quality part, and so then you'll go, oh wait, I was supposed to change that. So let's put this on. Wheel hub bearing. Now, you got to make sure that you replace the one that was bad. Sometimes the game won't recognize that you put a new one on and you're putting like this one here, 76%. The one that needed to be replaced for a new one was the one at the front left, driver front. So we're at the passenger rear, so we want to use one of the ones that came off back here. So we're going to put that one in. Brake pads. You really want to be careful with that when you're doing like an engine rebuild, because I've had it not count me doing a crankshaft cap, and I had to tear the bottom of the motor rack apart after I already filled it up with oil and everything. So now I'm much more cautious with that. So we can drive axle back in, because that upset us so much. Because not only, so it's wanting me to put the tire on, or that's the next thing to go on there, I'm not putting the tire on right now until we're done. But I had, because you have to pay for the oil and everything else. They pay for it if you're doing it, but when it comes to you messing up and filling it up with oil and it didn't count the part, you are responsible for filling it up again. That's on you. So, yeah, it's just kind of annoying that it doesn't recognize that it was on there. But in the real mechanic world, you would have to put all these pieces back in the same place anyway. Especially on the engine teardown, the one, like the bolts and everything else. Oop, get that back out. Goes on the front. But especially when you're doing a like an engine rebuild, you're going to replace the head bolts. You're going to replace the camshaft bolt, or the camshaft caps and the bolts. You're going to replace everything. So the game doesn't quite follow that, of course. I guess that would make it way too detailed, so can't really do that. But this game is very educational. There are some things on it you wouldn't necessarily have to do. For instance, when you're replacing or repairing a crankshaft, if you left it in the car, if you were doing this for real, you would not need to pull the pistons. You would have to unbolt them and everything. But you wouldn't have to pull the pistons out. You could just unbolt them from the crankshaft, pull the crankshaft out, and then repair it, replace it, whatever, and then put it back in. On the game, however, it wants you have to pull the pistons out before it will allow you to take out the crankshaft. So, alright, so we're going to check our list right quick. So one of the things, if you want to check the list, so if you right click out here, it's having you check more car orders, which we're not needing to do. You have to right click with it facing the car. So we haven't done the front yet. So but we've done that, so we're going to uncheck that. We've done these two. Rubber bushing. Where was the rubber bushing? Oh, there it is right there. There are quite a few of these on the car, and you got to. This is another one that bit me in the butt. You got to make sure that you put it in the right place. Because if you bought a new one and you took out more than one and you didn't put them back in the right place, you're going to have to keep changing them around till you find out where you did it. But, do that. Alright, so let's bring up our list. Let's get another rubber bushing on the shopping list. I'm going to clear this other stuff off. Rubber bushing. That one's cost me some money because I got tired of chasing down which one I replaced, and so I just bought more and replaced the one that I misplaced somewhere else so that I could just be done with the car. So it's only $15, but it adds up when you keep doing it. Now the tie rod, and there's the nut. A little bit. Alright, so we're ready to put this one back together. Oh, let's put the new bushing in. Now that we're at the right place. And put the cap back on. There we go. And we're not doing the tire yet. Okay. This mode, put that on. Alright, let's check out our list and see how we're doing. So all that's done, and then you'll see over here it's all grayed out. So that means that it's all been completed right here. So we're going to go ahead, everything's complete, we're going to go ahead and put the tires on. One thing to check on with this, that has also got me before, this one isn't in the same situation, but check the tire sizes, because sometimes people will put like bigger tires on the back than on the front, and if you mix match them, you have to pull them back off and do them again. So when you're putting these back on, just make sure. So. There's that one. You can move throughout the suspension by clicking on things to get over to where you want to put something on. But with the tires especially, it's quicker just to unclick and move around. So see, I can turn and work my way back here, but sometimes things will be in the way of the lift or other parts, and so it's easier to get it the other way. That one's done. See, it's each their own. Oop. Alright, so this one is done. Let's go over here and lower it down. You don't technically have to do this, but to go along with reality somewhat, I like to lower all the way down like it was finished. So we go here. Everything's fixed, so on this one we didn't make too much money, we made $520. At this point, if you forgot to put anything on, or if you did something like an oil change or something, you forgot to oil back in, it's going to tell you when you get there. Alright, there we go. There's a rear suspension arm A missing from the car, so I forgot a piece. And I'm not going to go all the way back up in the air for this. Let's see, where's it go? There it is, that one. One other way you can kind of tell if you want to go this route, you can check your inventory. Look for anything that's in the green. Right there, there's something else I missed right there. So I'm glad I didn't go back up to the front. So part mount, I forgot to put this stuff back on. So you see this bolt, oh, it's rusted, but it's showing you that it'll rust up parts even though it's not going to have you replace them. Yeah, man, I'm not usually this slow at this. That's there. Is it wanting me to... Man, I think it wants me to pull the tire back off to do this. Yeah, we're just going to pull the tire back off. Oh, it's because I don't have this stuff on there. That's what the problem is. That rubber bushing right there had me. I am under the car. Oh man, it's wanting me to go all the way up. As I was saying, I like having the car all the way up. You can do everything and not deal with that. Alright. Good thing it wouldn't let it leave yet. That would have been bad. Customer satisfaction survey. Not been good. Alright. Now we'll put the tire back on. Oh, that's that one up. Alright, let's check it in inventory. Alright, now everything's back on this car. I've forgotten that many parts since I started this man. Alright, so like I said, I like to have it all the way down the ground. Car status, everything's done. Alright, so we got paid for that one. It's finally gone. Alright, now this one. See exactly what it needed. Alright, so strange noise in engine bay. So the first thing I want to do, try and knock out some of the smaller stuff first. So relay type C, throttle, ECU, ignition coil, throttle again, air filter, fuel filter, brake system. So I like to try and pick one thing and go with that, and then I'll come back to the others. So strange noise in engine bay, camshaft cap. So the transmission's going to have to come off. But I'm not going to have to remove the engine from the car for this, because I'm not pulling the pistons or anything else. I can do all this with it in the car. So, first things first, check the lift, make sure, but I'm sure that needs to be done. Maybe it's pump module. Go ahead and pull them. I'm not going to replace right now. Oh, almost messed up, like I told you you need to do. Inventory, so I'm going to sell all this stuff. That way my inventory is empty. So, now we'll sell it. But if I get any followers or anything from this, or any of the other channels, I'm going to put them back into this. At the loading screen, I'm not sure if you saw it, but you can buy expansion packs for the game. You can get Toyota, Ford, Nissan, and I actually have their motors and stuff. So let's see, camshaft and camshaft cap. Those are the two we're worried about. Highlight them. So this camshaft and that cap. So camshaft coming out. This is all the time you have to take in this. This and get this cap off, and we'll come over here and start taking all this loose, and it has to come off in order. So go ahead and pull all these pulleys out of the way. I don't think I'm gonna have to drain them. Yeah. One thing that I continuously do that I'm trying to get better at is if you have to pull the water pump out or the radiator or something, you have to pull the oil pan off, and if you don't drain it first, it will spill all over your floor. You don't have to send everything, but it charges you. For a coolant spill, they charge you 50 credits or 50 bucks. So, kind of annoying. Alright, so we got that done, so let's take the cam gear off. Now we got to remove all these caps. This one's, you gotta make sure you have it directly on it. This one's not too bad as far as camshaft caps. I was doing a V8, and that one was bad. Alright, so the camshaft, you can see right there with the 23%, we can fix that. Or at least I think we can, so let's check it out. Alright, so ABS pump, we can fix that too. So we just gotta make sure that we get it on the green. There we go. Now we're gonna fix those, we're gonna get paid for them. Perfect. Now we don't have to find a new one, we can just put that one back in. Let's go ahead and go to the inventory though, because we do need to get that damaged camshaft clamp. Okay, so the belt's probably on that list too. I'm going to go ahead and add it to the list. And there's that. And the ABS module. I used my last one that I had in the garage or in the warehouse. Alright, so tablet. Rubber bushing is my last one. So serpentine belt. Okay. Camshaft cap. Okay. ABS module. You can see it doesn't show up in here. It's because it's electronic. It shows it right here. There's only one for all the cars, but I like to go ahead and select it off of the shopping list. It's like right here. You got ignition distributor A and B. If you choose the wrong one, you waste the money. You don't get your money back when you return it or sell it. So I like to just go ahead and click on them just to make sure it's the right one. Alright, so we got that done. Part mount. Let's put this new camshaft in. Like I said, it's a very educational program. Me, it kind of is my way out. It gets way too hot in the summer to do mechanic work, and a lot of the stuff that I do for people is like brake jobs and things like that, to where it doesn't take me too long, and I don't have like a full shop. I do everything out of my garage. So, alright, so this is where I'm going to be able to show you if it counted it or not. So I messed up and I put the new one on over here. I'm guessing it was this one. That one was at 67% or something, so let's see if it shows that it's completed. Okay, so it does, so that one did. Sometimes it won't do that. You gotta make sure you get them in the right spot. But anyway, I do stuff out of my garage, and I work out of town, which is why I'm streaming out of my camper. But I do a lot of smaller stuff. I usually don't do things like this. I have done engine rebuilds and such, but it's not something that comes up too often. But it is very educational because it shows you what all has to come off when you're doing things. And it's just, like I said, in the summertime it gets really hot. I'm in Texas, and so I try and stay indoors during the summer. And I don't take on too much work unless someone's in a real bind. So this is kind of a way out or a release for me to let me still do mechanic work a little bit here and there. And nothing's the same. Every car is different on here. Check. No, I gotta put you on. Alright, so we'll go ahead and put those two brake pieces on. I know I said I like doing them in order, but I saw that it was all rusted up and it was going to have to change. I know these are supposed to be tightened down in a certain order as well, but the game doesn't always require it. The game doesn't require it at all, at least on easy mode. Does this one have one? Yeah. So let's see how we're doing on our list. That's going to be underneath, crankshaft bearing cap, and front exhaust section. So we'll make sure that it, we'll go ahead and do this now, make sure it's not access from the top. Alright, so, but we are going to take this exhaust manifold to get that out more than likely, so we'll go ahead and do it just to make sure. One other thing that I always have a hard time remembering is that when you're going to pull the transmission, you have to take off the starter. I can't tell you how many times I've lifted the car in the air, started taking everything loose, and then the starter's still on the car. Alright, so let's say we're doing all this. That's going to be underneath, crankshaft bearing cap, and front exhaust section. So we'll make sure that it, we'll go ahead and do this now, make sure it's not access from the top. Alright, so, but we are going to take this exhaust manifold to get that out more than likely, so we'll go ahead and do it just to make sure. One other thing that I always have a hard time remembering is that when you're going to pull the transmission, you have to take off the starter. I can't tell you how many times I've lifted the car in the air, started taking everything loose, and then the starter's still on the car. Go ahead and pull that fuel filter off. Alright, so we got the starter out. So I'm going to do this, working on the transmission stuff right now. And like I said, this is a perfect example of not putting the tires back on, because had I not known that, or had I not seen already that we were going to be doing brake work, and I put the tires back on after we got done with the transmission, I'd have to pull them right back off. At least I'm assuming, because I'm pretty sure that something's going to be up at the front. But we're taking out the transmission, so I need to pull the drive axle. Let's work our way across here. Take off the other tire. Alright, drive axle. Oh, and in case you didn't see it, the reason we're taking all this off is because it wants us to change out. We're going to turn these off because we've done those. It wants us to do the clutch pressure plate, so that's what we're doing right now. So let's pull the gearbox. Oh, now I get the throw-out bearing or the release bearing. I always call it a clutch throw-out bearing. That is some bolt with it. %. We might be able to repair that. I don't know. Let's go try and save some money if we can. No, but we can repair that throttle. Oh, I almost missed that one. There we go. So the throttle's fixed. Everything else is alright. So. Car, inventory, order that, go ahead and get the fuel filter, and we've already got that set on. So we're good there, so let's go to the tablet, car parts, already done that, so front exhaust section, clutch pressure plate, and the fuel filter. I know I gotta do the oil filter and everything else, but oh, I've also gotta drain it. So to drain the oil, got the oil pan here. It asks you what day you want to do it on. We're gonna do it on 1. And instead of clicking the drain pan or anything like that, you click this and hit use. But we're having to drain the oil because we're gonna be doing the crankshaft bearing cap. Alright, so we'll get this back out of the way. There we go. Alright. Installation. Let's put this piece on right quick. Alright. Alright, put the new clutch pressure. Alright, throw out bearing. Gearbox. And the fuel filter we can only do it up top. Wow, it'll let me do the starter on this one from down here. A lot of the cars it won't let me. It wants you to do it from the top. Alright. Put this drive axle in. No, we're not putting that on because we know we got brake stuff too. Alright, that's in. Now, let's go ahead and do that. Oh. Okay, so perfect example of having to go up and down. This pulley is in the way. It's connected to the oil pan. And you can only do it from the top. So you have to go out here, lower the car down, and take that back off before you can do it. I'm sure some of you were watching me going, oh, well, you're going to have to take that belt back off. You're going to mess that up. But I didn't see it. Why would you mount a pulley to an oil pan anyway? Alright, back up again. Alright, now it's good. And we've already drained the oil, so we're good. Alright, so there's the crankshaft. And visually, it's going to probably be this one here, but we're going to make sure. Yep. Alright, so let's take it off. See how damaged it is. 22%. We might be able to repair it. Yep, okay, so perfect. One shot. There we go. Installation mode. Put this back in. This one's moving right along pretty good. Give me enough time to put the, or show you on my car that I built. So that'll be the brakes on here, but installation, the hybrid roller. Alright, let's check it out. Alright, so that one's all done. Throttle, we're going to put it back on in the relay type C. So let's go ahead and do the throttle since we're in part installation mode. Go ahead and put the exhaust manifold back on. Nope, that's the air filter. Let's choose now on this one. I think it said the ECU needed repair too. Alright, some of y'all out in the comments where I'm overlooking the fuse panel at. Give you permission to yell at me. Where the heck is it? Is it in the trunk or something? Alright, let's do this. Let's mark it. There it is. Okay, up above the box. Here we go. We should have marked it anyway. Alright, so it's this one here. So immediately just go ahead and order this if you can't repair relays. Oh, I accidentally added it twice. And this is going to be an electrical. Install. Cover back on. Alright, something else marked off the list. Those two are done. Alright, so ignition coil. We want to know which one, so I'm marking it. And then ECU. I thought it said something about that. Go ahead and take it off. It's that coil there, so let's go fuel rail. Grab that ignition coil. That's something else that drives me crazy, because like if this is my car, I do them all like, well, not just ignition coil, but like spark plugs. On here it'll tell you to do like one spark plug or two spark plugs. Do all your spark plugs. If I could get reimbursed for doing it that way, I wish it'd do that, or if it would let me like talk to the customer, like call them and say, you need to do all four, or something like that. That drives me nuts. But ignition coil, oh, I didn't have to do the shopping list. ignition coil. So the ignition coil, these are both going to be electronics. And this one. Okay. Ignition coil, done. And ECU, done. Alright. Those are all done. Filters. Fuel filter I've already bought. We need an air filter and an oil filter. Let's put the fuel in there. Alright, so let's go to part unmount. I hate this one because this one has the little clips and you have to go to each one of these and take them off. They're their own individual part. A lot of the other air filter boxes are 4 volts and so they come off a lot better. Then you get that. Alright, so one other thing you can do is when you have something highlighted, you can just hit X on it and that will automatically add it to the shopping list. Let's see if we can spot the oil filters in here. Go ahead and add it to the list. That way we just do one purchase. Alright. Back to car parts. Air filter. And oil filter. Now, air filter. See, each clip is its own part instead of just going around with parts. But I guess it makes it more realistic. Alright, so that's done. Oh, I got the fuel filter in hand. Oh. And put it on. And this has to be access from underneath. Let's go ahead and see what else we're going to be doing. So we're going to do the oil filter. Let's go ahead and mark these items, that way we know which caliper and stuff. Because on this, the front and the rear calipers are the same. Then it wants to refill. We'll go ahead and refill these while we're here. So you go to remove, and it removes the cap and you fill it. And basically you just fill it till it starts to show like it's going to overflow. You'll see it like bubbling up at the top. Right here. There. So that's full. So we're done with that one. Power steering. Something else that will have you do every now and then is someone want to flush. So you have a tool where you'll actually suck out all the fluid that's in there. And you'll replace it with new fluid. Okay. And the coolant. This will knock this one off. Alright, so that's done. Let's put it in the air, get the oil filter off, and then get these brakes knocked out and get this car out of here. Oh, get the oil filter. Something else the game will have you do, someone come in and they'll want an oil change, but they just want you to change the oil. They don't want a new filter. And it's just like, it really, I don't have OCD, but it's like mechanic OCD. It's like, why would you do that? It just drives me crazy. Alright, so that one needs nothing. That one's where the brake pads need to go. That one's the rotor, and that one's going to be at least the caliper and maybe more. But the front right doesn't do anything. So we can pretty much go ahead and put this tire back on. So this one's done. Alright. but it looks to be in real good shape. Looks almost brand new. 80%. Alright, let's pull the pads off. Pads are not repairable, so it's just a quick replace on those. And the rotor's not highlighted blue, so that's not a rotor we need to do. So let's go to inventory. Some brake pads. Added it to the list twice again. Brake pads, front and rear on brake pads are the same as well. So put this back together right quick instead of ordering everything at once. Alright. So this one looks like caliper hand pads and everything, and that one over there is a disc. Bug nut. Yeah, these pads are bad too. They have 25%. I'm going to do this one. And like I said, I'll listen to the audio from this one. I've got it recording as well, so I can play it back and see how things sound on it and such. And if anybody does watch this, if y'all have any comments about the audio or the video or anything that I can do better for y'all as a new streamer, let me know. I'll take it into consideration. And any comments are greatly appreciated. So, let's go to brake disc at 4. Oh, I forgot to show something. Let's go ahead and get this. Brake pads and that caliper. I want to show you something right quick. That caliper, or that disc, is in real bad shape. It's only at 4%. But if it was at 20-something%, I've got the brake lid right here where you can grind down or smooth down the rotors if they're not in too bad a shape, and you don't have to buy new ones, you can smooth it down. One of the things right here is the spring puller. For like struts, you can disassemble them here to replace single components in them. Alright, so let's clear some of this stuff off the list here, shall we? I think I only needed one more set of pads. I'm going to do one more. I can always come back and add more. Because I think I added too many the first time, and I didn't take them off the list. So we'll see. If I bought too many or something, no big deal. Throw them in the warehouse. Okay, break this. Pads. The pads, I've never had it come back at me and tell me that I put the pads in the wrong place. Not to say it won't happen, but I've never had that happen to me yet, so I'm not too concerned about which side is the new pads, which side was supposed to get the old ones first. Alright. Assembly mode. Next stream, not sure when it'll be. It'll probably be Sunday night. I will bring in that green car that's out front. Everything's great, so we're done. But I'll probably bring in that green car and one of the Mustangs, and I'll show you about the bodywork and stuff. The stream's been going on for a while now, so it's our first one. So we need to check everything out before I continue making them. We need to put oil in the car. So this one is really unrealistic. You fill the oil until it starts to overflow. So this is the most unrealistic thing that I've noticed on here. But I mean, you can't be picky. Alright, so that one's done. So let's close the hood. Let's check our inventory. Everything looks like it was replaced that needed to be, so let's check and see how we did. Look at that, $6,110 for that. And that one was done. Alright, so that takes care of that. By the way, I also have a welding machine here for other body work, framework, that kind of thing. I can move it to the machine. But experience, I've got 4 skill points. I'm trying to finish up the screw speed. You can see at the top right up there, I can't move my mouse to it, but my XP is at 1192 and my next level up is at 1350. So we're almost there. But let me go ahead and bring my car here that I was going to show y'all that I built. Let's go to parking, Echoes Imperator, and move it to the garage. So this is my baby. I'm going to be putting some black racing stripes down it, but if you look back in my videos, you'll see this car as I was building everything together. As far as the motor, I had it on the engine stand in there. And like I said, I started it over at the block. There's the specs on the block for on the engine. It's a dual overhead cam supercharged V8. But I tore all the way down to the block, started over from brand new. I replaced every body panel or repaired it. Yeah, let's move this outside so I can show you the inside of the car. I replaced the steering wheel, I replaced the seats. I mean, I put some money into this car. Let's see here. So you can see the car hasn't even been driven or started yet. I don't want to start it yet. It's just, I want to take it to test track and things like that. I think what I'm going to wait on is the dyno machine. I want to upgrade my shop one more time. I got 24,000 credits, but the dyno is 20,000. And if I spend all that money on the dyno, I don't have any money for repairs. You have to pay for all that out of pocket to get reimbursed in the end. So I always try and keep a minimum of like 5,000 to 8,000 that I can buy parts with in case I got to do like a full engine rebuild on the car. And body work and everything else, but I don't want to send it out unfinished. But you can see everything's done on here, 100% on absolutely everything. And then right here, so I spent $53,000 on the car at the barn, and then parts value $43,000, body value, I did everything. So basically, if I sold it right now, sale value is $155,000. I profit $102,000. That's not including my the parts that I have in it, but I'd still come out ahead. But we're gonna put this baby back into the parking garage. So it put that Mustang in since I swapped them out. So next stream will be this one and that green car. This one's getting a new transmission, clutch plate, and release bearing. So, anyway, thank you for joining me on my first stream. To anybody that might have joined in, I'm hoping to get a second monitor to where I can have my stream stuff set up on the second one to where I can see anything with text or anything like that. But for the time being, I don't have anything to watch on there. So, anyway, thank you again for joining. Y'all have a pleasant evening, afternoon, morning, wherever you are. And we'll see you on the next stream. Thank you.